Well, here we are in late May, and believe it or not, we are 1 year since we sent off the longtime senior pastor, Kevin Oder, from Canyon Ridge. He handed off leadership to another generation of leader and invited and empowered many people to carry on what God was up to next at Canyon Ridge. And we have the awesome opportunity to, in a unique way, welcome him back and hear something about what this last year has been for him. So let's welcome Kevin Oder.
Hi, my name's Kevin Oder. How you doing?
I'm so good. I love you trying not to shake my hand. I can see you willing yourself. I love it. It is good to see you. I know that we've had a chance to connect some over the past year for sure, but even just to see you in this room, something really cool about that. It's really fun.
It is different. It was different not being here, and it's different being here, so it's good.
When you stepped out, you for years had told people in big life transitions take a year, take a year. And so you said it this way to me, that you were gonna take your own medicine. Well, now you have. And so as you reflect on that, was that the right length? Was that the right time? What has been good about this year? And what has been challenging about a year?
I am so glad for this year. It has been appropriate. And what I mean by appropriate is in leadership, how much does the former leader show up, and when does the former leader show up, and how much looking over the shoulder does the new leader need to do or have to do, and to be trusted and know that I've really trusted you and the team that's in place. There's something about the absence that communicates trust. Instead of abdication, it really was blessing and go ahead, you got this type of a feel. But there really was a loss that my wife and I and our family went through on purpose, an intentional transition, which are those kinds of losses. When the kid goes to college, you know, when they graduate from high school, when you have a wedding, all those are losses, but they're celebrations as well. And so it was a right kind of exit. We were so grateful for how meaningful everything was and how well done. But it was right to take time to calibrate, to feel the emotions, and to establish new norms and new rhythms. I can't be more grateful for that time, and it was the right call.
That's great. Tell us a little bit about what you've been up to.
Last summer, we traveled. And we were told or advised to, there's gonna be a void, so fill it with positive things. And so we saw positive people doing positive things in positive places. And boy, it was good. And then we kind of came home to establish new norms and new rhythms for us. One of the things that we talked about before I exited was I was gonna become a Vistage chair. And Vistage is this professional CEO peer group thing. About 24,000 people internationally that are members of this group. And each group is a small group of 12 to 16 members that I am a chair of a group now. I definitely have been learning more about the business world. I have a deeper understanding of business people and the pressures they face and what they're like when they walk into the auditorium on a Sunday. It's been very good for me to learn that. Challenging, rewarding. And I'm really enjoying it.
Where have you been going to church, Kevin?
I said when we left that Canyon Ridge is our favorite church, so we intend to go here when we get done with this year. And we fell into the rhythm. I always told people that if I wanted to pastor, I go to church on Saturdays and stay home on Sundays. And man, I tell you, we have fallen into that rhythm. We really enjoy it. And the COVID hit and everybody has to watch online. We go, oh, we don't have to change a thing. In that regard, we watched it at home, you know, in quarantine, so to speak. Then we've enjoyed watching you guys adjust and what online church looks like now compared to what it did look like before COVID.
And so as a leader who had led for so long, is there something about this challenge that was so intriguing to you, or how have you watched not being in the leadership seat, you know?
Church has so many different sizes, but it has so many foundational values and principles that just have a different strategy of how you do them. And we have done those through our careers of so many different ways of doing church. And so being hung up on one style of church, if it's not like this, it's not church, we have chosen to do church the way that Canyon Ridge is doing it to reach this generation in this place. And by God's grace, there was a lot of preparation by online church was not new to us. And church at home, in the sense of house church or life groups, we have been pushing that for years, so that was not new to us.
Right.
And so all the foundation was already there from the principles. It was just a different application in this season. And so God's providence, I just see God at work in that, that the life that comes from this thing called the body of Christ is true, always true, no matter what the culture throws at you.
Yeah. What would you say to people struggling that the church can't be together right now?
Yeah, we love so much about how we do church, and someday we'll experience components of that, however they have life after this COVID. So what do? We do church. We just don't do it that way. And to accept the reality and then to embrace the value. You know, we can't do it that way, but we can do it this way.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, we're going to embrace doing it this way. We're going to really do it well this way. But you know what? The church is the church, and it will prevail. And that's one thing Jesus promised, and it absolutely is true.
And you're just over the at-risk age. Where are you at in that, Kevin?
Just turned 63. So our kids, the two that live in town, have been treating us like old people. And they went shopping for us and said, stay in the house and all of that. And it's been weird to adjust to. That was the initial shock. And then we've adapted and learned to pick up stuff, do the pickup order at grocery stores, and then eventually wear a mask and start to social distance as you shop, as everything's opening up. And so it's been different.
Yeah.
But we're good.
Yeah.
So I have a question for you. Besides how you doing?
I can't wait.
Besides how you doing? You also are a student that learns, and the teacher or the university you've been enrolled in this last few months particularly, is a tough season. So what have you learned?
Helping people both embrace the grief and challenge of a season and the opportunity in front that God is up to, and seeing what He's doing right now is a delicate tension that everyone experiences differently. And so that can be really challenging to lead in front of such a large group and diverse group of people. It's been challenging, but it's also been a season to really lean deeply on God. There's no way we navigate this season without Him. We know in our minds that's true all the time, but it's in seasons of desperation and seasons of challenge and exhaustion that we're really reminded. It's like, no, we really can't do meaningful things without Him. And so God laid pieces into place, reaching back certainly into your leadership of our church, and even in the ways that you helped shape me, and then even put some very specific pieces into place for me, both personally and organizationally, for us to be in a good spot, to really help people and love our city well, and to point to the essence and essential things of who we are as God's people, the church, and celebrate and lean on those even as we endure this kind of challenging season. So it has been both, there's been tears and laughter and everything in between, for sure. You spent many years leading, and I know you always look through a leadership lens. If there was something about this season that concerned you for the church as a whole, what would that be?
I'll say it's not just the church as a whole, but also the church at your house. And this was something my wife pointed out to me, because my wife has a better understanding and more of a concern about germs or viruses than I do. It's her background, she's a biology major, all of that. And I'm a higher risk taker, and I enjoy, going forward. And so how fast do you open up? How do you open up the economy? How do you open up social gatherings? My wife and I come from different places as we start that conversation. And she is concerned for other marriages that are out there in our culture that what about when the spouses are in different places? The kids are on different places than the parents. What about different couples in a life group coming together? What about the church gathering or not, and when and how? And how many opinions are held about that? Yeah. I go back again to our church heritage, which is the unity movement of our church, doctrinally looked at in essentials, unity, in opinions, liberty, and all things love. and how we're ripe for division in a nation and in a church and in a family and in a marriage over the opinions of how to do that. And my concern is that unity is broken as opposed to fought for. And one of the things I think the church can bring to our neighbors and our friends and our marriages and our workplaces is the right kind of response to differing opinions. Instead of judgment and condemnation and right versus wrong, it's you have the right to have that opinion. You have the right to have that opinion. We have the right to disagree. And we will not let that divide us. We will respect each other, honor each other in those opinions as we go together on the essentials and the things that matter most. That's a tough dance, always is, to apply that truth. But I think this is a season where the church can lead in unity in the workplace, in neighborhoods, in marriages, in family, extended families, that we're a family. We're a church, we're a business. We will not divide over this. And we will honor and respect each other's opinions.
Yeah.
That's a tough thing to do.
Looking into this next year, how is this next year going to be different than the previous?
We sustained attending church. We sustained our small group, our life group. One of my things in February was starting to look ahead of what am I going to do when we come back to church physically. And it just kind of dawned on me, maybe this is the season to volunteer. Where would I love to volunteer in the church? And instead of leading something, but just volunteering. And so I got a couple things in mind, and we'll see how those pan out. Again, as a softer entrance of what would be helpful to love people and to volunteer a couple places in the church and to start to pick up the next season as God leads in that way. So that's what I'm kind of looking at.
Yeah, we're eager to have you back, man.
We're grateful for the year, and we're grateful to hug people whenever we're allowed.
Right.
But also just to pick up from the story, the last chapter of the story, the last time we knew what was going on, and to move forward. So we're excited.
Yeah, it's good.
To the church that has followed Drew this year and all the leaders here, man, I am so pleased, proud, in awe of what God is continually doing through all of you as you've made this shift. And the fact that the church is vibrant and strong means that this church was built not on how we do church, but on the foundation that is the one that holds people. When a storm comes, you fall on your foundation. And the foundation that you found, the foundation of faith, is exactly the right one. And it's something that you have that you can offer to others. And it's seen to be so necessary in a storm like this. And honestly, my heart is so full of how healthy the church is and how healthy you are as you live out the values of what real church is. If you're not playing church, you are the church. And I just want to commend you, and you just don't know how moving it is to me to see the church prevailing, even in this storm. And yay, God, and keep going.
Well, let me say and acknowledge that, yes, God's done amazing things, right? But I hope that you're getting to enjoy and see the pieces of that you got to be a part of putting in place. The foundation's been established really well by you and many other leaders, and even the way that you intentionally handed at the time that you did and the way in which you did that set us up really, really well. And so on behalf of all of us, we're really, really grateful and excited for you to be back.
Thanks.